Hey, everybody, listen, welcome in the buildings. It is Trending Topic Wednesday. Okay, and we about to get into it. We got some great stuff on the topics tonight, okay? We got Don Lemon, he got relationship trouble. Okay, we got this rapper called Desiigner. He had flight problems, and then we have Toni Braxton. Okay, she had to go through a heart procedure. Guys, it's a great lineup. We're going to chat. And I'm glad that y'all are all coming in on the train. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way into the building. And Sheila, I appreciate you. Y'all know what we got to do over here. If we want to board this train, we got to do a what? Choo choo. All aboard, everybody. I'm about to board this train because it is Trending Topic Wednesday, and we're going to get into it. Well, y'all all know we got a monthly ticket holder, okay? And our monthly ticket holder is Robin, and we're about to bring Robin in the building. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Diva. Choo choo.
Choo choo. Listen, everybody, thank you for the choo choos out there. I really love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being in the building. Now. Hey, E.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday, Auntie Robin. Happy Wednesday, great diva. Such a great day. Can't wait to talk with you all.
I can't wait either. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hey, y'all. Hi, Robin. Hi, E. Hi, Diva. Been looking forward to having this conversation with y'all.
Good.
Listen, I'm glad. Thank you for joining the train ride. Hey, Shan.
Hey, I'm so excited.
Oh,
Hey,
hey,
not
beautiful
working.
Diva.
You're not
Hey,
working.
beautiful
You're not
Auntie
sleeping.
Robin. Hey, beautiful
Hey.
E.
Hey.
Hey, beautiful Leo Aries. I'm so excited. I'm off tonight. You know, I want to be a monthly ticket holder, but I work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I'm so excited to be here. Choo choo.
Listen,
And Miss Diva,
yes.
I texted you. Your skirt that you wore as a dress.
Yes.
Oh my God. I love everything. I commented. I texted
I
you.
loved
I
it
was
too.
like, yes,
loved
you
it
look
too.
so beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
I loved it. From the
We
jewelry
had-
to the makeup to the shoes. You did that. Okay.
Thank you. We had a ball that night. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about it. I gotta go back because I got a letter from management. Okay, we got a letter from management we're gonna have to read. So y'all gotta hold on one second. We gotta do a little HR business. Okay. So Monday we had an amazing time. But I just want to remind everybody of some, house rules. Okay. So management gave me a little note to read. If I trip up, whatever, my monthly ticket holder will step in. But let's just bear with me for a minute, okay? Because I want to say this. This is from, management and myself, okay? So I want to thank everyone who is a member of this channel, okay? If you're a subscriber, you're a member. I love all of you, okay? So the members, each and every subscriber, and everyone who watches the videos that I post. The most enjoyable thing for me as a content creator is our live streams. Okay, I love to interact with y'all. When I do the videos and my still videos, I do read the comments, but when we go live, you never know what's going to happen, and I have a ball with all of y'all. Okay, I love those of you who join our panel discussion, those of you who call in, and everyone who lends your voices in the comments. Okay, when this train is in the evenings, and we love to ride that, we We love the ride that we take. Now, most of the time, the train is smooth. We got a little smooth ride there. We love that, okay? Sometimes the train shakes. We're okay with that too. And other times, the train derails. And we're cool with that too, okay? We have great and lively discussions here. But I want to emphasize a few things, okay? First, all views are important and welcome, okay? So all views matter. We good with that, y'all? It's a great time when we have different opinions because that is when we often learn from each other. I have to ask a few things of all of us in the comments and on the panels. Speak your piece. Peace and pieces, okay? Speak respectfully and responsibly. It's okay to disagree, but not be disagreeable. The derogatory nicknames are not acceptable, okay? It's not okay to attack anyone's personality. However, you are encouraged to address someone's opinion or position. With that said, let's get into these trending topics, okay? And I had to say that because on Monday, when we did Love and Marriage Huntsville recap, there was some calling the actual personalities on that show outside of their name. I don't really like doing that. I love having our commentary and I love us stating our opinion about these different people that we see on the shows, but I don't want to get into start calling them outside of their name, right? Because we wouldn't like that ourselves either. So if you're talking about one of the Scott brothers, Maurice or Marcel, let's call them that, right? But other than that, let's have our fun and let's do our thing over here. And like I said, it's okay to agree to disagree, but I don't want us getting into like a verbal with each other, right? Because we have fun and y'all know y'all get on me too, and I'm cool with it, okay? But I just want to say I really don't want to start calling the different people on the shows outside of their name. Robin, is there anything you want to add to that for me?
No, that's perfect, Diva.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right, so let's get into this, guys. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, hit that like button, okay? Hit that like button. All right. So all right. So somebody said read LA Times article on Don. Okay, wait, you want me to read that? Okay, we're gonna get into this. Oh, the LA Times. You know what? The LA Times, y'all. They allow you to like read an article per day or something like that. And then if you're not signed up, the next time you try to go read an article, they be like, no, do you want to buy? I'm not buying another thing. You should see my bill when I get it. It's like all of these things, these streaming apps and all this stuff that I have, it makes me sick to my stomach. Okay. I'm like, good God, it's like $9.99 for this, $10.99 and it adds up, but I'm off the track already. All right. So let's get back on the track here. Thank you to all my writers tonight. We're about to get into this and we got to talk about Don Lemon. We got to talk about him. He got fired from CNN after 17 years of working there, okay? He was a little salty because he claimed that, they just told his agent that they done with him. And he was mad because nobody called him. They didn't call him in the office and say, look here, we got 17, things that we don't talk to you about. This is your final warning, so you got to go. He's mad because after all of that time, nobody had the decency to tell him to his face that he was done. Okay, especially when he went to work on the 22nd after being suspended for 2 days. And then on the 23rd, it was like, that's it, bye. We done. Okay. So he was upset about that. And he wrote a little tweet. He was like, you know what? He pretty much wrote his tweet like, how dare these people? How dare these people not even tell me I'm blurry? Am I blurry to y'all?
Nope. You're clear, honey.
Okay, Leah said I'm blurry. I'm sorry. Go out maybe, Leah, and come back in because others saying I'm okay. Okay. So he was mad about that and he did his little tweet. And he was like, whatever. But, he went and hired him a high-power lawyer because he wants to get him some money. And listen, I don't agree with him because he's messy in terms of what he did. But I do agree with him that, get your money because they tolerated your shenanigans and antics for 17 years. 17 years. So they were a part of creating the monster that you became. And let me just, before we go around and we talk about this, I'm going to show you 2 articles, right? But here's the other problem I have. Hey, Juanita, thanks for joining the train ride.
How y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. So he now he hired his lawyer. I'm gonna show you some of his antics. We'll go through that really quickly. He hired his lawyer, but his boo is a little messy. And when I say his boo, I mean his partner, I mean his man. Now all of a sudden, his man, Tim Malone, he complaining too. And he ready to leave Dawn. And we talk about when it rains, it pours. And my thing is, how you stood beside that man the whole time when he had his nice little job over there at CNN, and now all of a sudden you can't tolerate him. Tim is messy, but we'll talk about it as we go around. So hold on one second, guys.
Can tolerate the check.
That part right there. Okay. So now let's look at Don. You know, Don he a nice looking man. He messy, but he nice looking. You know what I mean? There he is. Okay, and they said his behavior, it started in 2008. He started at CNN in 2006, and his behavior started 2 years afterwards. Okay, so he's always been messy. And then, people want to tell me, well, Diva, they changed management, and that's why they got fired. He got fired. I don't care if you change management. You still got to go through the proper protocol where you're going to let somebody go, especially when you let them run amok for 17 years, okay? So Don Lemon, he was a diva. They said he had diva-like behaviors, and when I read the things that he did have diva-like behaviors, okay? So they said, back in 2008, he was doing a weekday show with this Kiara Phillips, okay? They didn't get along, and so they had to move him to the weekends, okay? But they moved him to the weekends because that Kiara Phillips, let me back up a little bit. Don Lemon always wanted the high profile gigs at CNN. So they gave one of them to this Kiara Phillips. It pissed him off. He was pissed, but he was pissed at the wrong person. He was pissed at Kiara. She didn't take the job. The CNN gave it to her. So she went to Iraq on assignment. He wanted that job. He got pissed. And you know what he did? He started ripping up pictures and notes, and he put it in the desk pod where they shared, okay? And then when she got back from Iraq and she was having dinner with the co-workers, she got an anonymous text, okay? And the text was like, you done did it now. You crossed the line, all right? And then and she told HR, and when they circled back, HR found out it came from him. And then that's when they took him off of being on air with her, and they put him to the weekends. They moved him to the weekends because he was being just a whole hot mess. So they let him slide with sending these messy texts to her. You see right here, it says they traced it back to him, according to the sources that are telling this story, okay? Now listen, they said that not only did he always have a problem with females, he had a problem pretty much with Black people, even though he Black. Check that one out, okay? He had issues with Nancy Grace. Picture that, Nancy Grace, okay? So much so that Nancy Grace didn't even want to comment for this article. Nancy Grace said, you know what? Friends of hers said that she always felt that Don Lemon was an ass. Excuse my language there. Also said that, you know what? That and people say that this is not his behavior that he does, these shenanigans, is not off brand for him. They also said that he was never abreast on the topics at hand. He just pulled stuff out of air, okay? He told one producer, this is the article here, y'all can go read it. I don't want to read it word for word right now. I did it in a previous video. You can go back and look at that. He told one producer to her face, you're fat. Okay, he had problems with the females. He also said one time about Black people, there was a discussion about Black people on the air one time. He said the problem with Black people is they need to pull up their pants, start wearing their pants off their butt. And he said that, with that mentality comes back from the people in jail because the in jail they didn't give the inmates any belts, so their clothes are too big. It was sag off their butt. And then
he said that crap after Trayvon Martin was.
Yes, he did. He's messy. And then he went further into the conversation and said that the person that have their pants way down or something like that, those are the ones that are submissive when they having sex in jail. He's messy. This man is a whole hot flaming mess, and he's been this way for years. They said he was a name dropper. He let the people know, I know this person, I know that one, I know so and so. He hung out with the big wigs in CNN. That's why, people were scared. They was like, well, he know the big boss. He got away with a lot of stuff. He would drop Stedman Graham's name, Oprah's man. He was a name dropper. And he also told people, I'm good when it comes to money, because he sued Tower Records. He sued the Chicago PD. This man was a whole hot menace to society. Hi, Don. Menace. Now, before we let's share screen one more time. I got one more thing to show you, because his man is not standing by him. Okay. So we got a messy man too. They said double whammy. Don Lemon's and his fiance Tim Malone's relationship struggles at the CNN shockingly fired anchor, sources tell them. Now, see, he's messy. Your man got fired. This is when your man really needs you. And you not even standing by him. Tim, you are messy. Okay. First his career, now his upcoming marriage. Don Lemon is in the midst of turmoil as he suffers a series of multiple blows streaming around the news anchor's abrupt exit from CNN on Monday, the 24th. Okay, April 24th. Look at those two. Messy, Tim messy. You was good. Tim was good for the trips. Tim was good when Don was on top. Tim was good when he was getting all the benefits.
He liked the clout.
Did he like the clout? Come on now.
He leaned into the picture. Y'all see that? How he leaning into he gritted harder than Don.
That part.
See, y'all got Tim all wrong. But I'll wait my turn.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna let you talk. Okay, all right, no problem. But either way, though, he's not standing by this man. Look at him. You enjoy all the perks, Tim. Now you supposed to be there through good times and bad.
They not married.
They said all the bad stuff is coming home with Don, and Tim has been understanding to a point, but no one thinks he's going to put up with the temper tantrums, neglect much longer. So if you was being neglected and y'all didn't even get married, you didn't leave though. Anyway, I'm sick of Tim. Let's talk about this. He's messy. Go ahead, Robert. We're gonna start with you.
Well, thank you very much, Diva. I will do my best not to be offend anybody, or call people out their names. Except I am going to call Don Lemon you called him a whole hot flaming mess. I say he's a whole hot flaming drama queen. But I digress. When you started talking, I just realized that I actually became aware of Don Lemon when he joined CNN, because I remember him covering the Jenna 6 case in 2006. Then he was a field reporter. So he goes from being a field reporter, he had those other things. Then he actually was essentially promoted to the primetime slot, which he did very well with. So he went from doing hard news to doing opinion news. That's a very different animal. I don't understand how he didn't see the writing on the wall, because I did.
Somebody needs some mute. Okay, go ahead, Robin.
Okay, because when prime time is where it's at, and the morning shift is not the big bucks, it's not the big whammy. So that was a demotion, and especially when you have to share your stage with other people where you had it yourself. I do agree that a great part of his dismissal is couched in the fact that Chris Licht is now the head of that network. When these new people come in, they want to reshape the stations in their own image. They may get rid of shows that you may have liked. Like me, I like the shows Daily Pop and Nightly Pop that was on E! News. They got new people. They changed everything. So people want to put their own stamp on it. You said that Don used to rub elbows with the big kahunas at CNN, and that's probably why a lot of his behavior was not addressed and he wasn't necessarily punished.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, just as an aside, I read an article earlier today about the Fox News and how they essentially have a dossier of bad deeds.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like laying in wait in case Tucker Carlson wants to, run his yap. They can just throw out all these different accusations and whatever. But that's just an aside.
Well, let me ask you this, Robin.
Yeah.
Let's focus this in a little more. What do you think about Tim? Tim is
Thank
not
you.
standing by his
That's
man.
where I'm going. Now, here's the thing about Tim. We didn't know who he was before that drunken New Year's Eve when he met Don Lemon down there in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually has had several different careers. Some of them include having worked in television broadcasting. He was behind the scenes at the Today Show. He has had a couple of different careers, and now he's a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if it wasn't that he was in it for the dough, but if we are to believe the internet, he is said to have a net worth of about $12 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now I didn't have a chance to look up what his listings and sales are,
Mm-hmm.
but he does work for Douglas Elliman, one of the premier real estate whatever here in the country, actually. Now, I don't really know. Oh, I'm not going to say that. I'll skip that. But I just want to say that I really don't think I buy that. If they have troubles,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe them to be new troubles. If we find that they break up, I think that it's something that he wanted to do before, and it might just be a good, just cut everybody real smooth right now and keep it moving.
Mm.
I also will say that Don Lemon just renegotiated his contract,
Mm-hmm.
and he is due about $25 million on this contract.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Megyn Kelly before him, like Tiffany Cross is in her litigation now, as is now Tucker Carlson. They will get paid. Whether or not he'll be back in broadcast news or news in general has yet to be seen. But I don't think that he's going to be as problematic necessarily as maybe a Tucker Carlson in going to an established mainstream media company.
All right, thank you, Robin. We're going to come to you, Eve. First of all, thank you for the super chat, Jonah. Relationship based on rich or not poor, happiness, not stress. According to Tim, he ain't no ride or die. He's no ride or die. And you know what? Even if you were planning to leave before this, you didn't leave. So don't be leaking out the troubles right now. Stand by your man, at least till he get his settlement. But anyway, Eve, what are your thoughts?
Well, because I don't have too many thoughts on Don, but I do want to say this before we continue, because on Monday, I was one of those people who was doing the name calling, and I'm a big girl, and I am woman enough. I'm woman enough to admit when I am out of order, so to speak. And so in that moment, I did use a few names, and in that moment, I meant exactly what I said, but I should have said that person was behaving that way rather than calling them that. So I admit I was a bit harsh. So
no, you know what? That's fine. I was really referring to the instead of calling Maurice, calling Maurice another name. Like, do you know what I mean? Instead of calling Marcel, calling him, whatever the name was. I know what the name was, but I don't want to repeat it. I'm saying stuff like that. I really don't like it, but we're good. Like, everybody's good.
And thank you for that, Diva. But I did see some comments, and so I just wanted to say that to the people.
Oh, okay. Okay, before you go, hold on. Let me just say this. Miss Mac, tell the truth, Shane the Devil. Tim is no good. No good. 2 days after this man is fired. Really? When people show you who they are, believe them. I'm trying to tell you. Thank you for that, Ms. Mac. Eve, what are your thoughts?
Well, I still have to go back to my true E fashion. The majority of Black men in the media, I have to say that for the people in the back. They've been out of order ever since Kitten Hill started his podcast a few years ago. It's the entitlement for me. Don says the manager needed to call him to let him know that he was fired.
Okay,
But why do they need to call him for? They told your agent. Translation, GTFO. His agent is his higher representative. You got the news. So that's all we needed to, that's all we need. Don Lemon getting fired is not a Black woman's issue. So I won't take up too much time about it because
talk to the people.
Because when you put your people last, your people put you. His first wife was of Hispanic descent. That's fine. And his about to be ex-man is white as Anna and Elsa. We hashtag frozen. We just saw him. And all of that is fine. Be who you want to be, love who you want to love. But when you go out of your way to establish partnerships and success outside of the Black community, as far as colleagues, friends, and your romantic partners, in my opinion, that's a powerful statement. And like my Nana used to say, you make your bed, you lie in it, because they will love you until they don't. And I'll be honest with you, $12 million after 17 years is not a bad deal. Pack up your cubicle, thank God for the experience, and move on with your life. Do you know how many people get fired for less and have even lesser in the bank? I'm just really tired of, and I don't know how to phrase this in a nice way, so forgive me in advance. Black women, we have to stop coming out in droves to defend these Black men, because I saw some other people on live today trying to defend Don Lemon and that he should get his job back and boo CNN. No, let these Black men come up and defend their own selves, because Don wouldn't lay his life and reputation on the line for the benefit of our advancement. I still remember when Don said he couldn't believe Meghan Markle's first time at the palace was the first time she experienced being Black. Now, if he could be that blatant in his delivery and cognizant of the racial undertones concerning these influences of power, then he should have seen this coming in his own predicament. Despite his white boyfriend and his white colleagues and his comfort behind the white gates in his white neighborhood, Don is Black. So everything he gave to Meghan, he should give to himself and get a bigger taste of it. I don't have any sympathy, I'm telling you right now, and I hope the frozen people take him to the cleaners and he can get a little high-rise apartment next to James and Florida Evans, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, wow.
Well, wait, hold on 1 second. Kat, thank you for the super chat. Don wasted his youth for 10 and no marriage, shaking my head. You know what? I do not. He's problematic. And he got issues when it comes to the females. I don't feel sorry for him that he lost his job, but I also think he should not knock on that door that was closed. But I do feel like, you know what, they should have spoke to him because they created that monster. But we'll get into my thoughts at the end. Leo, what are your thoughts?
I'm piggybacking on E, but I do feel like because he has. Let me tell y'all something. When the people, I'm gonna say the media people who are big name. If you don't work for yourself, you are an employee. These people can hire you and fire you at will. And it's not just the fact that, Don Lemon is indignant over the fact that management didn't call him. But just like Dee was saying, they're not obligated to call him. They're not obligated to call him. They called the agent. They told that agent. So now you know. And also, I don't really feel like it was about one particular thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's all the things that everybody said. It's the diva-like behavior. It's the fact that management changed. It was the fact that he had been allowed to do these things for all this time. And they get rid of you when you're more trouble than you worth also too. And he built upon that brick by brick. We don't know whether or not whomever it was that sued him at some Martha's Vineyard and he grabbed somebody inappropriately and the gentleman sued him. We don't know what's about to come out that they trying to prepare themselves for about Don Lemon.
I think, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. That article gave enough documented information over the years that was appalling. Okay, there was one anchor he was working with, and on air, like several times when they went on break, they had to pull him off air. If they got to pull you off air when they're on break, then you had to be out of line and out of pocket. That they didn't even say, well, wait to the end of the show. Mid-show, when they went on break, they had to pull that brother off the air because of some of the problematic things that he was saying and that was happening. No, he was in the old boys club. He did a lot of egregious things and he should have been fired. But see, there's a lot of jobs that they allow these menace to societies carry on because they like them, because they know the right people, and they don't care how many lives they destroy in the midst of it. And I'm saying because they helped create that monster, they owed more to him because he never knew that he had to ever change his behavior or peel back, because every time over the 17 years, everything that he did, they swept it under the rug. Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I know this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but I'm actually Team Don on everything. I support Don Lemon in almost everything he's done, everything he's said, in a lot of the things he's done. And I don't care. People are just too sensitive to what people have to say. It's just the truth. Don Lemon is a great journalist. He's a great commentator. CNN is very disrespectful to the way they terminated him. I find it very disrespectful. And CNN, I feel like they're going through a racial issue right now because there was supposed to be a black woman who was supposed to take Don Lemon's primetime show, Laura Coates, and come to find out, it's going to be the white woman who he yelled at, Caitlin Collins, who's will be taking that position. It's very controversial for me what CNN's doing. I don't understand why is it like this. As I'm saying, I'm going to say this. Don Lemon has never said anything that's so controversial that people can't bear. Come on. Like, what has he said that's so controversial that people can't bear? I know you guys are going to say, oh, is it because he said women in their 40s and 50s are not in their prime? Well, it's true. It is true. It is true.
Uh-oh.
It is true. They're not. Men are not in their prime at that age either.
Diva hide the knives. Diva hide the knives.
Wait
That's
a minute.
the
I
age.
don't act
Let me
surprised. This
finish.
is
Let me finish.
Sebastian.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Now, know your
That's
role,
the age.
Sebastian. Know your role.
That's the age. That is the age men start going limp and have to take Viagra. So women have issues at that age too. I'm just saying the truth.
Now,
They have
how would you know?
issues with
How
menopause.
would
Maybe the
you know?
women you know
It
they
is,
have
How
problems.
would you
it,
know?
it is
So Kenya
scientific.
Moore is over,
It is
Sebastian?
scientific.
The
Yeah,
train is
Kenya
shaking.
Moore
The
is out of her
train is
prime. I
shaking.
agree with that. Yes, Kenya Moore is out of her prime. As much as I love her, her prime's over. Your prime is done once you hit late
Your
30s.
prime is done
Why?
when you're ready for your prime to be done.
No, it's
Say
done
that,
once you hit late
Shan.
30s.
Say
It's
that,
done.
Shan.
Exactly.
Your
Say
prime is
that.
done
Exactly.
when
I'm
you're
saying
ready
the
for your
truth.
prime to be
Exactly.
done.
Say that,
Period.
Shan.
Because
I'm
Listen, you know what? You know what?
thank
Hold
you.
on. Let's let him finish. Hold on, guys. Let's let Sebastian finish. But you know what, Sebastian? First of all, the man was problematic.
I
He
don't
had
care if it was
issues.
problematic.
He had issues with females. When you want to tell a female producer she fat to her face, you're messy.
Right.
When every
No,
female co-anchor you work with, you got an issue with, you got problems. The problem is you.
You.
Go ahead,
okay, but I'm gonna
Sebastian.
say this. Why is it why thank you, Latasha. Why is it problematic for him to say that? But when women tell men that they're fat on air and stuff like that, and they need to slim down and drink some water, it's okay. No, I'm not liking this treatment of Don Lemon at all. I will stand with Don Lemon. I'm supporting him. And you know what? I'm gonna say something controversial. As much as I don't like Tucker Carlson, I'm gonna support him too. I'm gonna support him because they were done wrong and
Who?
dirty by media. Because when
Who?
I give you the ratings, Don Lemon and Tucker did give CNN and Fox News ratings.
Oh
When
my.
I gave you the
They
ratings, you
still
better put some
fired though.
respect on my name. You gotta put some respect on my name when I give you ratings. When I
Stand
give you
by
ratings,
But
you
you
your
put
know what,
respect on
man.
my name,
Sebastian?
and
They
you have
put
the
me.
decency to call me when you decide you don't want me anymore. And so that time, I already know. Let me call my agent. Let me set up other deals because he's probably getting multiple deals right now as we speak. And that $12 million is chump change. Don Lemon has done too much over too much work for just $12 million at
I
CNN.
thought that was cheap too.
Sebastian,
I thought that was cheap too.
Sebastian, you said he's getting deals after deals right now.
Yeah, he most likely is. He will.
Most
Why you so
likely,
mad?
Most likely that part
I feel bad because Don Lemon
So I
said,
said, why is he so mad? Not why do
why
you
is he
feel
so
bad?
mad? Why is he so mad? Because the place that you worked at for like 17 years is now terminating you without having the audacity to contact you. You actually built a family with these people, and they did not even have the audacity to.
No.
So
Let's
that sound
be
like no
He
clear.
didn't
family.
build no family.
Wait, hold on a second. Let's be clear, Sebastian. He thought he had friends in those higher ups that was covering him every single second. But now he see what the real deal is, because not one of his friends warned him and said, yo, they about to cut you loose. Now one of his friends called him. He got the message through the agency. You know, probably now that I'm thinking about it, you helping me clear my mind, Sebastian. They probably had the agency call him and couldn't really have him in the office because they know how he gets down.
He's a clown.
Okay, let me tell
They
you
know how
this.
he gets down. When he wants to tear up pictures and stick it on this female's desk and in her drawers because she got the assignment for Iraq and he didn't, he's problematic. He's unhinged.
No, it's not
Hold
problematic.
on
It's
one
not
second,
problematic.
Sebastian. Juanita, you're in the building. What are your thoughts? Because Sebastian
Uh,
derailed the train. What are your thoughts?
Sebastian.
Sebastian is Sebastianing.
I put it on the right track.
Sebastian, go to bed. It's past your bedtime. But anyway,
Ageism.
Don. Wait a minute now. Anyway, he was very arrogant, and I think he deserved what he got. And as far as the man that he was with, I consider him being a gold digger.
That
So
part.
as long as he had money and was doing fine and fame, and he was whining him and dining him, showing him the good life, he was all for it. But the time he got the boot, he was gone. And Don Lemon, some of the stuff he said was just ridiculous. They should have gotten rid of him a long time ago.
That part. That part right there. They should have got rid of him a long time ago. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts?
Well, I tend to agree with Sebastian most of the time, but he is so wrong today.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
We are not being overly sensitive. You need to go and check out that Variety piece where they talk about his misogyny at CNN. It's unbelievable. And like people were saying, he should have been fired a long time ago. You can't behave like that in a workplace where you're making other people uncomfortable and then expect to be treated all good and whatever. That comment about the women, that's very ageist, very offensive. And notice he only said that about women. He didn't say it about men.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not gonna say I'm glad he got fired, but I do feel like that's what he did, so that's what he got. And he's also a liar because he said that CNN didn't like talk to him or whatever. Did y'all see the tweet CNN put out? They said it was not true. So he's a liar, and yeah, that's all.
Well, let me tell you this. So hold on one second, Sebastian. Let me tell you this, Emmanuel. I think they both misrepresent the truth, including CNN, right? Because CNN wants to deny and act like they didn't know about any of his previous misbehavior. CNN, wanted to say that, nowadays, like people want to say that that Don Lemon, he also had an affair prior to him meeting Tim. He had an affair with a young staffer that was in his 20s. And, back in the time before he was actually came out and said he was gay, even though he never denied it and he was open with what he did, he never also like kind of said it either, right? So, but they said that he had an inappropriate relationship with a younger staff member. Sort of the same, they was accusing him that the same thing like TJ Holmes did, saying that, you know what, this was like a young intern and it was an inappropriate relationship because you were like, over the person, so to speak, and all of that. So Don Lemon has a slew. We could probably, it probably was like in HR, probably could have been like 3 file cabinets with just the things that Don Lemon has done. Okay. There was also, I remember that lawsuit. There was a lawsuit out there where he had allegedly like knocked somebody upside, a guy upside his head in a bar, and then all of a sudden the guy just dropped the lawsuit and said he didn't remember what happened himself. Now that means, AKA, allegedly this guy got paid off by Don, allegedly, right? So all I'm saying is that let's not sleep on the fact that Don is highly problematic according to all the accusations out there. But I really feel like that they swept it under the rug so much, and that's why I feel like he's going to get, first of all, he has a high profile lawyer. Whatever number he asked them for, I feel like he's going to get it and then some, because they own a piece of this pie. They are responsible for who he was at CNN, because they had several opportunities to knock it and stop it and block it, and they did not. They're going to pay big. They're going to pay big. Because he terrorized so many females there. I mean, when Nancy Grace doesn't want to give a comment,
Right.
Nancy Grace and her big mouth, and I love Nancy Grace, then that tells you a lot right there.
Right. And who doesn't get along with Nancy Grace? Like, come on now. And Sebastian, you also said that you stand by both Tucker and Dawn because they were wrongly fired.
I don't like Tucker, but I'm standing with them because I'm standing with both of them.
Well, one of them made the company lose almost $800 million, and the other one is giving them a bad face.
Well, the company allowed it to happen the same way Diva's saying how CNN allowed Don to be the monster that he is. I don't think he's a monster, but Diva's saying it. Well, Fox News allowed Tucker to be the monster that he is as well. So,
well, like Leo said, when you're an employee, you're subject to termination at any day.
Come on now.
And also, for 1 minute that Tucker Carlson got fired because of Dominion. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna go on record as saying that the lawsuit that the producer filed gave light to a lot of stuff that's going on, a lot of the shenanigans, and the same reasons that they got rid of Bill O'Reilly and Roger Ailes.
That's right.
Because the lies I'm with you. Care about.
I'm with you.
And
that's it.
Let me come to Shan. But hold on. Donna Richardson said, Diva, don't believe everything you read about Don. CNN is trying to spin a narrative about Don just to justify the firing. I don't believe everything that is coming out now. I hear you, Donna, and I respect your opinion. But let me say this. A lot of the things that are being said some of them actually happen on live TV. I remember when he talked about the black people and the pants hanging down and all of that. Okay.
I support that.
Other things, this Kiara Phillips, I mean, if they did a whole investigation and they linked the text back to him, I believe that. I mean, maybe some of the things is being an extra spin on it. I don't know, but I hear you.
Everybody's not lying.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
And Sebastian, since the prime cuts off at 40, Don is 57, so his prime has ended. His
yes, he has. That's why he takes Viagra.
Let's get him out of here.
I agree with you. His prime is over. I said that. He probably takes Viagra. It's true.
You know what, Sebastian, hold tight. Shan, what are your thoughts?
Only Sebastian.
Sebastian, you know that not because you're 50, that doesn't mean you take Viagra. It's when you have erectile dysfunction or other.
Come on, Shan.
I agree. I know. It's just that's when it starts naturally.
Wait a minute. Sebastian might be trying to tell us he's had an encounter. Do you know Don personally?
Okay, hold on, guys. Let's hear Shan. Shan, what are your thoughts?
I didn't really know about Don Lemon, or whatever his name is. I knew who he was, but I didn't follow the story. But when you were reviewing the articles, Diva, I was like, wow, it sounds like he deserves to be fired. However, I would be mad too. Like, after 17 years, reach out to me, give me a warning, something. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we all know people like him who they know the right people. They bring the boss coffee every morning. They don't do SHIT. They get away with everything. They do whatever.
Yes, right.
And you do one thing and it's a problem. We all been there, or most of us been there.
Exactly.
So it's like, I look at this two ways, but I'm appalled at what, all the things that happened that you just reviewed. And y'all acting surprised. This is Sebastian. He lives to say the opposing side.
That part.
I prepared for this one.
And Sebastian will lay on the tracks and get run over just to have the opposing side. Stop, Sebastian. Hold on 1 second. The Don, thank you for the super chat. Wish I would have had me some prime 40s in my 20s. Listen to Don. That's not.
And like, I'm in my 20s, so his commentary doesn't, I don't care. I'm young. However, when I'm 50, 60, 70, I'm gonna be a snack in my prime. So I don't believe the whole narrative when your prime is done. I feel like people live multiple lives. Like when you're in your 20s, you're this way. When you're 30s, you're this way. When you're 50s, you're this way.
He didn't say it out of spite. He never said it out of spite. Nikki Haley had the audacity to say that people who are above the age of 65 when they run for president, that they should do cognitive testing. I can see why she could say that. And then he just responded saying that she's in her 50s. That doesn't mean she's at her prime.
And I get you, but that doesn't mean every 50-year-old is like,
But see, here's the thing.
Not sharp or
right. Here's the thing, Sebastian, with Don Lemon. You got a platform. You know what? Certain positions, you can't take them if you're going to be reckless with your mouth.
Right.
I told this story before. In the church, they was like, why don't you be an usher? I ain't ready. Because if I tell you to go sit in that pew right there and you want to tell me where you going to sit, it's not going to go well. And that's not how the church has to be run. Okay.
Right.
So you got to know when you take certain roles, you need to read the fine print. And if you can't handle the fine print, then that is not the job for you. You are with impressionable people on CNN. Okay, you're not on Dish Nation.
They don't have that big ratings anyway. They don't even get
it. Doesn't matter. You still got a responsibility. You're not on Dish Nation. You're not on TMZ. You're on CNN. Get your whole life together, and then you got to know your audience. Read the room. You can't sit in there around a bunch of females and then think you want to have a kiki ha viral moment by saying something off-colored like that about a female. So he didn't know his position, his role. He didn't read the room correctly. He should have directed that conversation a little bit differently. And I will say this when it comes to the presidents, right? I think a whole new revamping needs to go on because Biden just said he's going to run again. And I'm not going to go into a political thing, but I just want to say this.
It's a problem.
Sometimes it's a problem. It is a problem. And I'm going to tell you why I think it's a problem. Forget about everything he does as as that in politics. I'm just talking about half the time when he's in like a meeting or something, I felt like he sleep.
He can't keep his eyes open.
I said Reagan had Alzheimer's when he was in office.
He did, and that's facts.
But he was stronger than Biden.
I'm gonna need him. And they said Nancy Reagan was really running the country. I'm sick of this nonsense. But let me bring it back here. Dustin, I think this is your first time in the building. Welcome, and you wanted to come through. What do you want to say?
Can I just say one last thing?
Yes.
I think the moral of the story with this, I feel like Don, whatever his name is, I feel like he knew the right people, so he got away with everything.
Oh, he absolutely
did. It's who
did.
you know.
It's who you know. And listen, and he had no problem. They said Sleepy Joe hashtag 2020. I cannot listen. Let me tell you something. And he didn't have no problem name dropping. He let the people know I know who I know. Okay.
Exactly.
So, Dustin, what would you like to add to this conversation? Are you there?
He's on mute.
Dustin, you're okay. Yes, I can. Yes.
Yeah, I have watched Fox News and CNN News a long time, and I seen it coming a mile away. Both of them got fired. I seen it coming a mile away. They needed to have some kind of punishment all these years, and nothing ever happened. Now finally things gonna change.
So what do you think? Thank you, Dustin, for that. What do you think about Don's man, Tim? Tim wants to bail out now. Now that his man is in trouble, he's not standing by his man. What are your thoughts?
I think I need to stand by him myself. I know I'm going to stand by him, but I'm not a big fan of Tucker Carlson. and I don't miss him one day. I don't miss him at all.
All right now. Okay, but are you standing by Don?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh. So do you? So
all the people with no pictures.
do you want him to get his job back?
I don't. I think he should be punished, but not to the extent that he's getting punished.
Exactly.
I think that he should have his job. They just renewed his contract, as far as I know, and they might as well. And CNN is going to have to pay him a pretty penny.
Oh, they're going to have to pay him for sure. I do agree.
They're going to have to pay him a pretty penny now. Now, CNN needs to get this.
Dustin, are you okay with the fact that Don doesn't like the females?
Well, that doesn't bother me.
Oh, really?
Y'all gonna raise
that doesn't bother me because some people have their own opinion. Now,
Sebastian, brother.
Oh my.
That's worse than me.
Okay.
Dustin, you got the train shaking. You don't care that he don't like the female. You don't care that he called a female producer fat to her face. You don't think that's messed up?
No, I didn't hear that. Okay, but
was she fat?
That doesn't sit right with me. I didn't hear about that one.
Well, let me tell you this. Did you hear that? You know, there was another co-anchor of his. Her name was Kiara Phillips. And because she got the job, Kiara Phillips, because she got the job that he wanted.
Okay. I didn't hear about that either.
Well,
Dustin, did you hear?
Well, Dustin, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna let you speak. But Dustin, you gotta look up the person that you're standing by now. Go ahead, E.
Yes, and Dustin, we have firsthand information. This was an exclusive broken on the Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva channel. On this train today, we had an exclusive interview with someone on the panel right now who said that Don has erectile dysfunction. Do you support that?
Oh yeah.
Y'all are not going to.
I have to go back and listen to it. I didn't.
Leo said tomato. Leo said tomato.
Y'all gotta stop now. Allegedly.
I'm sorry. We just had the disclaimer. Sorry, allegedly.
When he was on live air.
Wait, hold on, guys. Dustin, we love you being here, but like someone said, do your homework. You standing by a whole hot mess, okay? Standing by a whole hot mess. But I like you, and you know what? And I'm not mad at you. You want to stand by Don, you and Sebastian, you go right ahead. Now, in my opinion, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to finish by saying one thing.
Yes.
I do not stand by Tucker Carlson one bit.
Okay.
I do not. I don't agree with it.
Amen.
I don't agree with him either, but I'm standing by him because I feel as if he's brought money to that network and they owe him more as well.
Okay.
Just like
Come on, Sebastian.
Hold on, everybody. Go ahead, Dustin. Finish your thought.
Okay. What Diva said, they are working for a network, even if it's Tucker Carlson or CNN. They both can get fired at any time, just like with anybody else's job. If anybody else's job on a regular basis, they don't feel like they're doing it the way that they have done it before, they could decide to fire them at any time.
That's true. 10 years, 20 years. There are people who got fired right and couldn't collect their pension and all of that. Yes, you are correct. Go ahead.
They don't care at all. They're just gonna do what they want to do and they'll find somebody else to replace it.
Facts. Okay, in my opinion, what are your thoughts?
One more thing.
Yes.
I'd rather watch Jesse Waters Primetime. Jesse Waters Primetime does a better job than Tucker Carlson any day.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dustin. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so first of all, Sebastian, I love you, but I need you to live. I need you to live more. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Baby. When you live a life, okay, I need you to get up in some age, okay, and go through some things, and then I need you to come back and talk to us when you got it, okay? Cause you the baby of the bunch, though. I'm gonna let you slide this time, okay?
I'm sorry. Right. I love you too.
Okay. Now, let me tell you something. First of all, we want our journalists speaking facts, not fiction. Okay?
Okay.
We want
That
our
too.
journalists
That
giving
that
us the
that
real
too.
tea,
That
not
too.
trying to throw shade at some females. Okay? First of all, I'm not supporting no man that sits here and disrespects a female on TV. I'm not doing that. Okay? And if you stand for him, then you stand for him disrespecting your mama, your sister, your grandma, your auntie, anybody else that's female. Okay? Let me tell you something. Baby, you don't know how low you is until you start standing by people that you don't know. Okay? Let me tell you something. First of
Right.
all, he went to
Right.
school all those years and didn't learn nothing. Let me tell you something. Those contracts are sealed and signed tightly. He's lucky he got away with the stuff that he did. And the only reason why he got away with it is because he was whitewashed. Okay? And when them whitewashed people didn't keep his back no longer, they couldn't hold it no longer because he's so toxic, he fell on his own sword. And for that, he should have been fired. And I hope he don't get now another job.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Wait,
something.
hold on,
I would,
Sebastian. You said near another job. Good God. D,
Another.
near another. Okay. D, thank you for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. Near another job. Well, okay, in my opinion, you done said that. Sebastian, I'm gonna come to you. Then Juanita, I think you want to say something. Go ahead, Sebastian.
I am publicly retracting my statement.
Oh,
It,
Which one? Which one? Which one?
Listen, come on now, give it up. Come on, come
Okay,
on.
everybody.
What are you
Which
retracting? I'm sitting up. Let me sit up. Let me sit up.
actually statements in parentheses. In my opinion, changed my heart. I love in my opinion. I really do.
We love you.
Is there a heart? Is there a heart in
I
the
am
Come
sorry.
on, Auntie Robin.
I am sorry to people in their 40s and 50s. I just said stuff that are basically medically true, but sometimes you get offensive.
Are you a doctor, Sebastian?
It's medically
Medically
true. It is true. A man in his early 40s and 50s, that's when the erectile dysfunction really starts due to aging.
You don't know
But
what you're
not for
talking about.
everyone, though.
Hold on
Sometimes.
one second. Hold on one second, everybody. AT2, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you for becoming a member. I truly appreciate you. Much love. Thank you so much. Okay, listen, Sebastian, stick with Robin. Thank you
Okay.
so much. I love a good train ride. Choo choo. Thank you,
I
Robin.
apologize
Yes.
to
Can
everyone
I
in their
say
40s
something
and
to
But let him
50s.
wait. Wait, Juanita. He's getting his apology out, and we got to hear it. Go ahead.
I
Y'all.
apologize to anyone in their 40s and 50s.
Uh-huh.
But as I said, I
See,
will
once you do
still
a butt,
stand.
you
It takes come on,
negate
start.
the
Let's
apology.
start
Okay,
over,
but
Sebastian.
I will
Just
still
apologize.
stand.
No, hold on.
I'm
No,
sorry.
Sebastian, freeze. Hold on one second. D, thank you for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. Freeze, Sebastian. Start over. You want to
Okay.
do apology? We're trying to learn you today. If you're going to do
Any conjunction but.
apologize.
Diva.
Go, Sebastian. Go.
Okay. I apologize to
Full
anyone in their
throat with
40s
your
and
chest.
50s. I
Everyone, not
apologize to
anyone. Come
anyone in
on.
their 40s and 50s that are women that have been offended by what Don Lemon said. I still stand and support Don Lemon in his $12 million what lawsuit he's going to do.
Don't say but.
I
Just
support him. I never
apologize. Don't
said
say
but.
but.
I never said but. I
Oh,
still
my
support
bad.
him.
Sorry.
Okay, you
But
stand
I'm
by
gonna
your-
say this. I have to say
Okay.
but for this one. It
Oh,
has to do
Jesus.
with okay. But I'm just saying that the fiance leaving him or whatever
Mhm.
clearly shows that he was just clout chasing because Don Lemon
I
was
agree.
the breadwinner.
I agree.
Yep.
Dr. Love, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, we got to get off of Don because I didn't mean to spend this much time on him. We got to move on. And
Can I say one more thing?
Okay,
One
one thing really quickly. Go ahead, Juanita.
Okay, to Sebastian, my husband is over 60 and he does not need Viagra.
And
You're probably feeding him good food. You're probably feeding him good, healthy food.
Okay, we're moving
Now
on.
let's not do it. Right.
Can I say one thing?
Hold it, stop. Yes, go ahead, Shan. One more thing.
Sebastian, I feel like I always mention your name and whatnot. Just know I love you. I look forward to your commentary. It's hilarious. We love you, but we got to call you out because you just keep saying whatever with your emoji picture.
He's
You,
still young.
Reckless.
He's still
I
young.
say what I feel that some people
Reckless.
fear
We're
to
moving
say.
on. The train was
Because you
shaking.
got an
I'm
emoji
getting
in
the
your
train
picture.
back on track. I'm getting the train back on track. We're moving on. So Desiigner, he's a rapper, originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
Let me show you him because I'm gonna show you how we talk because this I don't understand it. I truly don't understand it. Okay, where is he at? He's messy.
And he checked in someplace right about now.
What
You
did
know
he
what?
do
I'm
again?
tired of, hold on, guys. I'm tired of the people fooling around with the mental illness. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he was on a Delta flight, first class. Okay. And they hit him with charged with a misdemeanor after allegedly exposing himself on an international flight. Now, this man in first class, and he decides to whip his member out, his little Frankfurter, in front of some flight attendants, right?
Oh Lord.
And they gave him a warning. They said, listen, put that thing back in your pants. Stop. Put it back in there. Okay. No, but he didn't put it back in there. He left it out. And not only did he leave it out, they came back and passed him again, and he's pleasuring himself.
Oh my.
He's pleasuring himself. And they told him once again, knock it off. You're going to go to jail. Stop. He couldn't stop. He kept pleasuring himself to the point where they took him out of first class. Now, see, they wrong. They wrong. They should have left him in first class because there's less people. They want to take him and put him back in with the regular folk.
Oh God.
Took him to the back of the plane, and then they're going to send his two friends back there to watch him and say, watch him, make sure he doesn't do that anymore. My thing is, if you needed to do something like that bad, you couldn't go in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's disgusting.
Then
he wanted to blame it on his mental health.
Oh Lord.
And then he even said, when he was away, he had to check himself in and all of these other shenanigans. And I forgot, though, there was one rapper that said, knock it off. It's not his mental health. He was horny. Now, listen, the Brooklyn rapper was charged with misdemeanor indecent exposure on his flight from Japan, okay? It's been a long fall from grace since Grammy-nominated rapper burst into the unwrapped scene in 2016 with Kanye West's uber-popular record, Father Stretch My Hands, Part 1. After a few hit records, it's been a steady decline for the Brooklyn-born MC, and the latest incident feels like the last straw. It's a shame. A nice-looking kid, 25, and he's messy. Okay? I don't want to see your stuff. I'm trying to get home. So
I know that's right.
What about the children on that plane? Like, now he's done that. Like, I hope kids.
Well, somebody said the kids can't be in first class. I don't know how true that is or
no, they can be. They can be.
Yeah, I thought, okay, yeah, they can be right. But either way, at least first class has less people. You going to throw them back with the regular population, so they got to be subjected to him doing that stuff?
They should have threw him out to the air. Just kidding.
I know. On Monday, Desiigner, who was born Sydney, was charged with misdemeanor indecent exposure on an aircraft by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota. Okay. As soon as he got off that plane, they clinked him up.
I have a question.
Yes. Let me finish. Give me 1 second. The once good music signee is being accused of some nasty behavior while on the aircraft on April 17, including showing his manhood to multiple people on the plane.
Oh my!
He just walking around doing a show and tell.
Oh.
Okay, and masturbating in front of flight attendants during his international flight from Japan to Minnesota. According to the prosecutors, Desiigner was in first class on a Delta flight while he was performing the acts, and was notified that he was violating federal law by a flight attendant. So, honey, that's a federal offense. Okay. As a result, he was moved to the back of the plane where he was watched by 2 other people he was traveling with. When the flight landed, he was taken in by an FBI agent. Days after he landed, the rapper released a statement on social media that read, "For the past few months, I have not been okay. So why did you travel?
Exactly.
And I have been struggling to come to terms with what is going on. While overseas for a concert I performed at, I had to be admitted into the hospital. I was not thinking clearly." So they should have sedated you on that plane ride. Okay. He continued, "They gave me meds and I had to hop on a plane home. I'm ashamed of my actions that happened on that plane. I landed back to the States and I'm admitting myself in a facility to help me." Now, everybody with this illusion of what's going on, what type of facility are you admitting yourself into? I will be
Mm.
canceling all of my shows and any obligations into further notice. Mental health is real, guys. Please pray for me. If you're not feeling like yourself, please get help. Well, get help before you sit on the plane and decide to
Exactly.
show your private parts to everybody.
Exactly.
This is disgusting. Like, my question
It's
is,
disgusting. Yes, go. What is your question? Go
how
ahead.
the hell is okay? Clearly, we need to restructure our laws. How the hell is exposing yourself a misdemeanor?
Listen, you got to ask them that. All I know is he was waving that thing around and he was doing a show
That's
and
not
tell on the plane.
okay. Like, kids could be in said presence. Like, no, like, this is not okay at all. It should not be a misdemeanor. This should actually be
Yeah.
This is misdemeanors get expunged sometimes. No, this should not be a misdemeanor. No.
Well, see, he playing it off like, well, I don't want to say playing off. You see, he added the mental health to it to calm
That's
the
another
people down.
problem we're gonna have to talk about. I'm tired of
Yes.
people. Oh Lord, I'm sorry, but y'all gonna drag me.
Okay, so let me
You're
start.
right,
Let's
you're
go
right,
around
Steph.
so I
You're
can
fine.
get to everybody. I'm gonna start at the bottom this time. In my opinion, what are your thoughts? He was doing a show and tell with his wee wee.
Okay, so D, well, let me tell you something. First of all, I'm so tired of everybody using mental health as a crutch when they get caught.
That part.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to stop doing that because I'm gonna need these police officers to go look in their record and see if they ever had any treatment for mental health, if they ever been seen by a mental health professional before then. Like, we're not gonna use this as an excuse. You were nasty, you were disgusting, and you were out of pocket, sir.
Mhm.
And they should have put you at the bottom of the plane with the luggage.
Agree.
Cargo hold.
Damn.
Come on
Wait
in
a
my
minute.
opinion.
Let me add to this. Wait, I'm coming around. Let me add to this. And you know, when they got him up to go take him to the the back of the plane, his Vaseline dropped. So he was serious about it. Okay. He had some lubrication. He was getting it in. That's just disgusting. But okay, Dustin, what are your thoughts?
They shouldn't even allowed him to stay on the plane. They should have took him off and somebody should have came and got him and took him home themselves. They should have just
Can't
took
do
him off
that
the
bit
plane.
right.
They should have took him off the plane and never let him back on there.
You know what though? They didn't see. Here's the thing. Let me tell you something. They was already in the air, and then you're going to really inconvenience everybody, right? You're going to inconvenience everybody when you just redirect the flight, and it's not easy to redirect because they would have to get clearance from the nearest airport to come into that to land. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So
I understand that. But what
yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
saying is,
Listen.
what I'm saying is, they shouldn't have allowed that when somebody get on a plane and do that kind of stuff. They're supposed to sit on a plane and sit there, and they're not supposed to do that kind of bull crap. Sorry for my language,
You're right, but I think he started to perform in
it,
air. Yeah, he started to perform in there. He was doing a show and tell once they got in the air. Talking about you want to see, you want to see, you want to see.
But he's not. But that's not for an airplane.
Yeah,
You
we
do
know
that stuff. You do that stuff at your house. You don't do that stuff out in public. For crying out loud, there's an airplane for that. I want to go in there. I don't want to go in that airplane. I want to get. I want to get out of that airplane and go back on it.
Yeah, that part. Jonah, thank you for the super chat. So you said exhibitionist disorder, alcohol consumption increased that behavior. Whew.
And being a fool.
That part.
He definitely was a fool, and he probably was a little bit drink. He was probably a little bit.
I do believe something has definitely got to be going on with him. He's a young kid.
Only 25.
25.
I thought he was 42. Stop.
No, he's 25.
25?
He's 25.
Huh.
To be 25, that's that behavior.
He's young, very young.
Well, Diva, look who he came up under. He came up under Kanye West. I mean, what y'all expecting?
Well.
I mean, Kanye West is a different topic, but I do agree with you. But still, but that's pretty young to be doing that kind of.
Yeah,
bullshit.
it is, right? Yeah, and then my thing is though, no, like I'm old school in the sense that my grandmother, my mother, they grew up on Vaseline. These young kids are not into utilizing Vaseline like that. I mean, you had your Vaseline. I feel like you was prepared to do something like that.
Right?
Because you know what, like I said, my thing,
Vaselines for fighting ash and baby hair.
yeah, I mean, my mother used it on her skin, like she used it for everything, but definitely use it for her skin over like lotions and stuff like that. And so did my grandmother. But I don't know too many young kids like in that age bracket that are carrying around Vaseline. So that's like, it was almost like you planned to get on a plane like that. But hold on, Dustin, let me move to Sebastian. Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
This is absolutely disgusting. You should not be exposing yourself, and I do think there should be repercussions for exposing yourselves. I do think that you should be neutered if you expose yourself to the general public. I have that opinion. This is gross. No one wants to see that, and especially with like Vaseline and all these things. This is a plane. People come here. They want to do transatlantic flights. They want to enjoy their time, and some people are scared in planes. Some people have anxiety, actual mental health issues that could affect them, and you just decide to just wank it off. Like it's gross. It's absolutely gross, and people need to stop using mental health as an excuse for their actions. I'm tired of it.
Yes. Okay.
If you have issues with mental health and you know that you can't control your actions, check yourself in. Check yourself in. I'm sorry. Check yourself in.
That part. Kat, thank you for the super chat. She said hashtag vaccine stocks are skyrocketing.
Oh
Oh
Lord.
my God. That's
Are they going up? They're going up and up and up.
yeah.
Look, that was wrong.
Listen, Mary B, as a friend,
I missed it.
yeah, as a friend, I wouldn't want to watch him. I know, but you know what? The friends know who he is and how he is, and they.
I'll never look at Vaseline the same anymore, Diva, after hearing the story.
I'm trying to tell you, they said they were getting him up to take him to the back so he can be back there or whatever, because they didn't want the shenanigans no more in first class. And when he got up, they said his Vaseline dropped. Smoke, what are your thoughts?
Well, first, I want to just address what Sebastian said. You are a black man in America, and we all ask the same. So you ain't getting rid of your jar of Vaseline no time soon. If anything, you're probably going to upgrade to some cocoa butter or shea butter. In regards to this gentleman, I think it's just the honestly the society we live now. Like everybody is looking for their viral moment or for their 15 minutes of fame, and I'm revealing a lot about myself, but I don't care. So on Twitter, they have people who are certain content creators that are not on YouTube. And some of them like to push certain envelopes to see what will get their likes up, their subscriber count up. So when I'm so used to these headlines that it doesn't surprise me anymore. And even Diva, about that thing I sent you early this morning about the Sukiana, what she said. It's just everybody is just looking for the come up, and it's like fame is truly like one of the worst drugs out there. Excuse me, one of those things out there, like people just get on a fix and they're just always doing stuff that maybe they don't believe it. I don't honestly believe it was a mental thing, because you have to have first of all, people, if you have some kind of mental I don't want to say challenge, but like
disorder.
Thank you, mental disorder. The people who like do like TSA and stuff, they can sense when something is wrong, and even before you get in the flight, like they'll be like, okay, something's not right, you can't fly. So I personally, like Sebastian, I'm not buying the fact that he said he's having mental issues. That's what caused him. Like, take some accountability. You thought no one was looking, you thought no one would get caught, you thought you're in first class and you can get away with it, and now you're in trouble. So just own your situation. Just own your situation. I'm not trying to rain on nobody's freak flag. Whatever you do, but you also have to be cognizant and respectful of other people around you, because doing that stuff around other people, they may not want to see that. And then now you on the no-fly list, and now you got to be getting on buses and on Enterprise van rides to get to where you need to go.
Yeah. Whew. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like they said, like Clubhouse. I never even been on Clubhouse
What
site.
is Clubhouse?
I guess it's another site similar.
It's a madhouse.
Oh, it's a madhouse.
It's a madhouse. It's like a suburban version of Bigo.
All right, Shan, what are your thoughts? He's in the air showing his business, his family jewels to everybody. and then pleasuring himself. What are your thoughts?
You know what? Mental illness is very real, but I don't think this is no mental illness. Like, I feel like I haven't had a hit song in a while. Let me do something for clout so my name can be in the media. But idiot, now you on the no-fly list. So it's just disgusting. I hate how everything's mental health now. Oh, I said something to offend you. I have a mental illness. Like, it's not a joke. This is why people don't take it seriously, because you have people doing stupid-ish and saying, oh, yeah, my mental health, I was depressed. So it's like just an excuse. I feel like he just did anything for clout, attention. Like Smoke was saying, everybody want to be viral on social media. They're not even thinking of the consequences. Now you're going to be riding a bike to where you got to go, like you deserve, you know.
Did they put him on a no-fly list?
I mean, he should be. I don't know.
Yeah.
He may get a suspension. I don't think it is as severe enough to put him on a no-fly list, because he didn't. I mean, for the pure person who saw it, I would consider it harm, but they would not qualify that as something like.
Several people saw it. Apparently, he showed his stuff to a couple people. I think 2 flight attendants definitely saw it. And
was there a child in first claf with them?
I think if it was, he would have been in more trouble.
Right. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Stop using mental illness as an excuse, because there's people who really have mental illness issues, and that's why nobody takes it seriously.
Exactly. Was there a child when they put him in the main cabin?
Well, at that point, hopefully he got it and he already got his stuff off by the time they put him back there. Hopefully.
And you can't just wake up one day and say, I have a mental illness, people. I get so annoyed.
I think let me say this. I think a lot of people are saying that now, but I also don't want to diminish if possibly he really does, right?
Okay,
true. Because I will say this, you know, when you rise to fame really quickly, and then the fall is even quicker, like there's a crash, I'm sure that mentally messed up his mind. Because if he had to go to Tokyo to do a concert, and I'm not saying that other bigger artists don't do that, but you know, if this early in his career at 25, he had to go over there to do a concert, you know, that kind of tells you probably where his career is at already, and he literally like just started, right? So
in the gutter, like his morals. Can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
You brought up a good point. Now that I think about it, he probably think it's okay because we live in a world where everything is like okay. Like it's like not okay, but nothing's shocking anymore because the world's so messed up. You know?
Yeah.
And David, can I add this too as well?
Yeah.
I think also I was bringing a point of Twitter, like certain images and certain videos are widely available for 24/7 consumption. So people see certain scenarios over and over and over again. It's like
they get desensitized.
Right. So I think that also is another part where you're seeing more people do things in this manner where it's just like he honest his mind. I'm not saying it was a mental thing that was happening, but his mind was just like thinking like it thought nothing of what he was doing was wrong. And I think that's just because everything is so accessible and available that there's no like boundaries anymore. There's no like line of like, okay, I can't go this. People just there's no line anymore. People just go as far as they want to go in the moment. And then it's not until like there are consequences then they realize, oh, I really messed up. It's like, well, you should have thought about that before you even had the idea to do that on a plane with other people in public.
Right. Well, Smoke, in that same defense, we can't listen here. We're all grown ups, okay? Right. And we all know right from wrong, okay? So we're not going to diminish that he knows right from wrong. I don't care how much the media put stuff out there. You was taught manners, okay? And your manners was you don't pull your pants down unless you in a bathroom or in your own comfort of your own home. We just don't do that.
Right. We have decency. I'm saying we know better, but I think we also can't. Common sense is a flower that does not grow in everybody's garden. So
everybody, no, you don't pull your peanut whacker out in front of nobody. Okay, I'm just saying. And if you don't know, if you didn't learn this in kindergarten, let me tell the people. Okay, do not pull any of your private parts out. We do not want to see it. We do not subscribe to it. None of that. Okay, I'm too old to see your Peter whacker. Okay.
Yeah, I think you know what. Yeah, I think Smoker saying There's so you know what these young kids now, and then you're in the industry, the entertainment industry, and I think in the entertainment industry, a lot of stuff that doesn't happen on a regular basis in everybody's world happens in that world. Do you know that those people, and I don't want to get off the track, that Freaknik documentary that they're trying to come out with, there are a ton of executives now that could possibly be in that documentary that are trying to block that thing from coming out.
What documentary?
What's that about?
Well, let me tell you something.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I want to get to Juanita. I want to get to some other people, but I only brought that up to say that you really have to watch what you do your whole life. If you're planning on becoming a professional, you can't be in college like I'm just gonna have fun.
Right.
And do whatever, because it will impact you in the future. So now those high-level executives, they're freaking the heck out, no pun intended, because they don't want this Freaknik, documentary to come out. Juanita, what are your thoughts on this young man? He's 25. I wonder where his parents are. And I often wish when these young individuals get into entertainment, not to say that they would, but I don't know. I wish there was more preparation from some of I'm gonna say OGs that have been there, done that they would set up some type of program.
Mentorship.
Thank you, Shan, because I wasn't getting the right words. Thank you. I appreciate you. Some type of mentorship so that these young individuals do not fall in these pit holes that they're falling into. And with social media and you being able to make money, and there's all of these avenues where they could literally overnight, one night have $0 in the bank, and the next day have millions of dollars in the bank. I really just wish there was more mentorship so that these individuals won't end up like he did. I mean, I think that even when you have a mental illness, and just I don't think your behaviors that come out are far from who you are, right? I mean, there's a lot going on when you want to say that mental illness caused you to show your wee-wee to people on a plane and to be masturbating. I think that's far-fetched, but that's me. Juanita, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I just think it's disgusting, number one. And with him being 25, he know better. But then again, didn't he say that somebody gave him some pills or something to take before he got on the plane because he was sick or something?
He said he was dealing with a mental health crisis pretty much when he was in Tokyo, and they gave him some mental health pills and so forth and so on. But again, I mean, mental health, that's part, right? And any medication has different impact on different people's, but I never known any side effect on any medication that says that you were probably going to show yourself.
Right. So I think subconsciously he knew what he was doing.
Right.
And then after he realized the consequences of it, then even if he did have a mental illness problem, he just wanted to be known that he had a mental illness problem because he want a lesser sentencing, or he don't want people judging him. But he's already done that, and it's just disgusting. It's ridiculous, and whatever charges need to have been brought. Because if children was on there, that was just awful. Don't nobody you want to enjoy your flight. You don't want to see nobody flagging all around everywhere and flapping and carrying on like that.
That part.
And I hope they disinfect the seat after he got out of there.
That part. That part. Okay. Listen. You know what? You're saying a Freaknik over 20 years ago, they shouldn't have their past held against them. Well, they're the one that wanted blocked. They don't want to block. The thing is, though,
what's Freaknik?
Well,
Freaknik, let me tell you something. What you did in your 20s should not affect what you are today. Like, we all have a past, okay? And I'm pretty sure these people are not gonna know who you are if they look at you 20 years ago.
No. They were out there.
Some
That's
people
not
say
true.
that's crazy.
Sebastian.
No, because
So,
now I
wait,
want to know what Freaknik is.
yeah, but let me say this though. People recognize me that I sometimes don't recognize, and I went to grade
Exactly.
school with them, and I'm like,
Exactly.
holy crap! Like, how did you even know that was me? Some
Right.
people say my voice, some people say my eyes, some people be like, they just knew. Like, it's crazy to me. So my thing is, there are individuals, like there are law enforcement, firefighters who might have took some racy pictures way before they even started their job, and I'm not saying this right, but they got fired as a result of it. There are people that do OnlyFans because they needed the money. There was a set of school teachers. I'm gonna say the husband and the wife. The education department found out that they had an OnlyFans page and they fired them. I'm not
Right.
saying this right, but only reason why I'm bringing that up is because your what you do does impact you. Just
Right.
like you have others who they found, I forgot who it was. They found pictures from high school and they had blackface on. They got in
Mhm.
trouble for it, like, and that was how many years ago? So
Yes.
well,
The
we
Prime
can
Minister
say
of
all
Canada.
that part. We can say it's not right, but we have to acknowledge that unfortunately it happens. Okay. That's IBK. Thank you for the super chat. You said Diva was at Freaknik in '94. They got her on video. That's funny. So where was I at? Sebastian, what are your thoughts about? Did I come to you already about Mr.
You did. I just asked what is Freaknik. I don't know what Freaknik is.
All right,
It's like Mardi Gras on crack.
Oh my goodness. You don't know. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
It's like Mardi Gras on crack. Just think about it like that.
It's like
With college kids. With college kids.
Mardi Gras coupled with spring break on crack.
Yeah, MTV Spring Break for Black people.
Yeah, that part. There you go. Everything everybody says, Sebastian, but I mean, it was huge, a big, big thing. And all I can say is a lot went down at Freaknik, and that's it, and that's all. Dustin, I think I
We
read
were Southing in the South.
What you say?
Dustin, I came to you on this plane incident.
Yeah, I already said it.
Okay, thank you. Leo, what are your thoughts? Freaknik is black girls going wild, somebody wrote.
Kind of.
It's kind of, and on the topic, everything has been covered that I wanted to say, and I'm gonna go ahead on and relinquish my time. But I'm gonna say this one thing about the Freaknik. The Freaknik was between 1992, kind of like to 1998 to 99. The spring breakers, black spring breakers, college kids would go to Atlanta, Georgia. It was the third week in April, and they would get down doing the spring break thing, partying,
All the way
drinking,
through
having
the
inappropriate
streets.
relationship, dancing in the streets, loud music, partying all day and night, traffic jam. That's it.
Riding on top of cars.
Leo, and then after Freaknik was over in Atlanta, they moved the party to Texas, remember?
Oh, wow. Those were the days, but
Those were the days. E, what are your thoughts on Mr. Man, Desiigner on the plane showing his stuff?
Firstly, I want to piggyback on what I just heard. We need to stop saying, no, I don't want to say that. I think it would be great if I need to say it like I was going to say it. We need to stop saying that what we do in our 20s should not affect what we become in our 30s and 40s. And I love everybody, and I am in my 30s, but that is a lie. Because what you do in your 20s and your 30s does determine or contribute to what you can become in your 40s, 50s, and it matters.
Yes, it does.
And my Nana always told me when I was in middle school, what you do today will contribute to what you become tomorrow. And she was right. People have to stop thinking that it's cute. And it's more so nowadays than it was back in the day, but it's not cute to let folks put a phone in your face or a camera and record you. I've been to Daytona. I've been to Miami. You can call me lame. This and that. I can't remember what topic it was, but we talked about this before. Leave a man with the memory Don't leave him with the videotape. Don't do that. And maybe this is a bit harsh to some people who have been there and done that. I mean, you only live once and you have a ball while you're doing it. But for me, I don't leave any evidence. Okay? Why are we letting men who don't even take care of their kids record you being indecent and exposed? I don't understand this. I get OnlyFans, people are getting paid for it, but no, we have to dial this back a little bit, because this is part of the problem now with what we're talking about with this rapper. Now, this should not have been a misdemeanor. Should have been a felony, because I think you said it was a misdemeanor. And they should have landed that plane in the nearest city. Somebody said if he needed to do that, he could have went to the restroom. No, don't do that in the restroom either. Who knows what type of bacteria or infection he's walking around with and pre-climaxing and touching everything? Positively no. No. And if there were children on the plane, because we can't say on a plane that there were absolutely no children. You don't know who's there in the seats. If you're in first class, you don't know who's in the back until you walk back there. So for me, if there were children on the plane, that is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. People are always talking about protect the kids. Well, here's your chance. You don't get to do something like this and walk away with the misdemeanor. Where are the senators? Because this is outrageous. This man said he is admitting himself into a facility because it shows good, in my opinion, it's because he wants to show good faith before the trial. So he can show the judge, okay, I'm trying to get help. Going to a treatment facility does not impress me. He's a day late and $1 short. The damage is done. I don't believe it was a mental illness. Me personally, I don't, and God forgive me, I don't. I believe it was drugs. And it's called Mandy. I think I heard somebody else talking about it. Other rappers have come out and stated what this does to them and how it gets them in the mood. And I'll conclude with this. I told y'all before, I know a lot of people. I've met a lot of men in my short time here. I met some models, some basketball players, some rappers, and a few.
Girl, we gotta go out. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Wait, E, are you talking about that honey pack thing?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking about that honey pack thing that people are now using as like their extra boost?
I'm not. But okay. I don't know anything about that. I was talking about.
No, but you know what? You make a good point. You make a good point. I don't necessarily think, and see, he was being very vague with facility. Instead of saying I'm going to rehab, he used the word facility. Like if it was mental health, you could have said I'm going to a mental health facility. You know what I mean? He said I'm checking myself into the facility. I'm connecting with you, E. Go ahead, continue.
I forgot. Oh no, I remember now. And the reason it takes so long is because y'all done took the conversation into so many different tosses and turns. I had to remember my thought process because it was so much to unpack. But I'll conclude with this. I know so many men, okay? And when I meet them, we have conversations. And it's a real thing. And we talked about this before. When someone is so influential and they have access to pleasure, all types of pleasure, after a while, it becomes harder to top that and reach the top of that roller coaster and come back down, if you know what I mean.
I do.
And so a lot of people get off on exhibitionism. And in my opinion, this person might have been thinking about doing this ever since he booked his flight, for all we know. And if that's the case, I think this is premeditated. And it wasn't something done on a whim, because who just walks around? What grown man walks around with Vaseline and on the ready? I mean, that's not something you bore within your hands. That would have been in your backpack. That would have been in the overhead. Do you know what I mean? Like, who walks around doing that unless you were already planning on doing that when you board it? So this is why I say he meant to do it. And I disagree that this is not enough to put him on the no-fly list. Some of us give people too many chances and excuse inexcusable behavior. And we all have access to the internet. And most of us all enjoy intimacy. It's not a common sense thing. This is about decency. A man who walks around in front of strangers in midair when you are supposed to be seated, is a lawless individual. He thinks he is above it all. And he needs to be sent a strong message so that other people are discouraged from participating in any behavior that is similar.
Hey, Diva, can I say something real quick?
Okay, yes, go ahead, because that was a lot.
Okay.
Go ahead, yes.
So for everybody that think we was worried about social media in the 90s, social media wasn't even out then. Okay. We didn't have no social media when Freaknik was going on. Social media didn't pop up to like the 2000s.
True.
Just to clear that up.
I wasn't saying that people were
Hold on, guys.
And
they still have
I'm just saying, when you was about Freaknik, it wasn't like, oh no, I gave consent for somebody to, film me or something. It was like you were having fun. You weren't really paying attention to the cameras or the camcorders. Like you was just having fun. I'm just trying to put a picture out there because the young kids may not know that older, we were having fun. Like, we did a lot of crazy things, and and I'm pretty sure your parents have done a lot of crazy things. So don't be surprised. I'm just saying.
Well, that's probably about like how it was at
fortunate thing
Woodstock.
about our parents are, somebody the access to catch you out there was way, way harder than it is now. Everybody has a camera. Everybody's a photographer now. And
right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. When the Freaknik was going on, it wasn't like it was no cameras out there. It wasn't no social media to catch y'all, stuff. You had to actually know somebody that knew you, that had some footage on you to pass it along. You see what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have social media then.
I'm literally a college student, and I like almost every single weekend, Diva, I see these weird Snapchat stories, and I'm like, these gonna stop these kids from getting jobs. Like, literally the other day, I saw this guy literally took a shot of tequila and spat it in a woman's mouth, and she drank it.
Oh,
Just
Jesus.
like, oh
Oh
God.
Okay.
my Father God.
Diva, can I
Oh
go?
Lord have mercy.
You are gonna go. You're next, Robin. Go ahead.
Okay, really quickly. This is not where I was going to start, but I want to go here. Back when in the days of Freaknik, a couple of things. One, there was no issue of consent because we didn't have the immediacy that we have today of social media. Back then, there were camcorders, regular cameras, disposable cameras were prevalent. I want to remind everybody that when you're in the public, then and now, there's no expectation of privacy when you're in the public. So that's just that on Freaknik.
No facts. Hold on, Robin, before you continue. Facts. And see, Tanya, yes, there were camcorders, and some people knew they was being recorded. I think that sometimes you're just having a lot of fun, and it's all fun and jokes. But the problem is, depending upon who owns that footage, it can turn into something not being funny and joking. Right. So go ahead, Robin.
And to add to what you're saying, no one then had the foresight that there might be some documentary produced. But I digress.
That's right, Robin. That's right.
I would like to speak to this Desiigner dude.
Yes.
And first and foremost, we are in the age of mental illness being the end-all, catch-all answer, excuse for everything. And I'm sick of it. If you commit a mass pow-powing, that person had mental illness. Everything. Come on now, speak, Robin. Let me see it. And if we could curse, I would say it's bull sugar honey iced tea. And I would say with a lot of bass in my voice because it's annoying as HE double hockey sticks to me. This Desiigner, I think that he is just exhibiting just a plethora of depravity or depravish. I don't know if that's the word, but it's all about just depravity, shenanigans. I think that he also is in the cocoon of celebrity culture where nobody tells you no and they let you go. I mean, come on. He was doing what he was doing in first class and they said, okay, we don't want to offend everybody in first class. So we'll let you go to the back of the plane and let your friends, who I'm guessing were probably in first class with him,
that part, talk about it,
police him. If he's going to be on the plane with them same people, if you're going to police him in the back, police him in the front. I say it's all straight up BS. I'm sick of it. I'm tired. I think that, again, part of the celebrity culture is I do what I want to do. I get away with I want to get away with. Nobody's going to tell me no. Because, by the way, they didn't really tell him no on this flight. They said, don't do it here. They didn't tell him no. So he can go in whatever facility or claim he's in whatever facility, like every dang on body else. But those of us who are clear-minded, clear-headed, and clear-sighted, we see you.
We see you. Robin, hold on, because I want to speak to something you said, but Radiance, the train is packed. The train is packed. Once I have 10 people and that 10 includes myself, nobody else can get in. So we have to catch you next time unless somebody drops. So thank you so much, though. Now, let me say this.
I'll drop so she could get a chance.
Okay,
Radiance, I'll be in the comments.
Okay, Radiance, you have to come up quick.
I'm going to drop too. I'll be in the comments.
Okay. Let me say, so say Shan. Oh, Shan dropped already too. Radiance, you come on in. There's room. Robin, let me say this. I did have a problem with that also, right? Because my thing is, it's not like you was getting kicked off the plane. And what was the purpose of putting you to the back of the plane? You already paid your price for that first class ticket. So the back of the plane, I had issues with that. I really did, because
that flight attendant that worked first class didn't want to see it no more, so she put it on the flight attendant in general class,
and decide to expose the rest of a larger population
that
to his behavior, and that is bad math.
That part. Do the
in
math.
first class, you usually have the little slide up doors where you can make it like your own little cubicle.
It's a curtain.
They could have slid
throw a blanket over his behind, tape him up, and keep it moving.
Yeah, that didn't sit well with me either, because I'm like, why would you move him to the general population? I'm just calling it that. That's not what you understand what I'm saying. Why would you move him back where he can potentially hurt more people when it's only but so many people that are in first class? And I want to say the highest number I thought was about 8, or maybe it's even smaller than that.
8 to 12.
8 to 12. So you was impacting 8 to 12 people. And you go from impacting 8 to 12 people to impacting a whole other roles. That was messy. That's a whole nother subject in and of itself. Because it was like, to me, it was like, you're not going to impact any more of these people up here. We're going to go put you back there with your people. If this is what you want to do, you're going to go back there with your people and you do it back there. Matter of fact, take your other 2 friends who paid for their first class tickets too, and they got to watch you.
That part.
It was messy. There's a whole nother angle to this, but I was trying to deal with him. But you bring up a very good point, Robin. So I thank you for that. Adele, you just got into the building. What do you want to add to this conversation?
Breaking up, I can't hear.
Yeah, I didn't. We can't hear.
And I want to know what's her name?
Okay, wait, hold on 1 second, Robin. Go ahead, Adele.
There's an
stop.
Adele, wait, hold on.
Can you hear me now?
Better. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to close the other window because there was an echo.
Okay.
I just came in because I work in mental health.
Okay.
So people don't necessarily understand how mental health works.
Okay.
It's not something necessarily that you can control. And this is not a free card now. He's still responsible for his behavior.
Right.
And it has to be looked in to figure out whether or not he actually, like someone was saying before about the Vaseline and all of those stuff, that kind of shows some kind of premeditation. But mental health, if you have mental health issues, you don't necessarily, that's the whole point. You cannot control it. It's not, if you could, then you don't have mental health issues. And that's what you have to figure out. Yeah, that's what you have to figure out. Was this something that a person who is used to getting away with stuff got away with? Or is this something where he literally was going through something? Because I don't know if you guys have listened to a song before, like the song Panda.
Well, tell me some of the words, because you want to make a connection here. So tell me what I should have heard.
A lot of his song that he basically was like panda, 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 panda. It's almost like a place where someone like Kanye goes because of their mental health issues. They're able to dig deeper than a normal person. And I don't think a person who doesn't deal with mental health issues necessarily come up with the song Panda, because it's so out there. It's genius when you listen to it, and it's not necessarily about it catchy. It's the way it just rolls, and it just goes around, and it almost depicts a person whose brain is going like this, like all over the place, and just it doesn't have a rhythm to it. And I remember thinking that when I heard that song, even before all of this, that wow, this guy has some kind of like way of his mind working that is not normal. But again, the song was so amazing. So think about that for a second. Like, just how did he, in his art, was able to create something so messy? Because a lot of artists have mental health, and they're able to reach these deep places that, and I have this thing about using the word normal, because I believe mental health is more common than we even try to depict in society. Sometimes we'll say a person have a problem with their health, with their leg, a person have a problem with all of these things, but we don't think that a person can have a problem with their brain. Like, it's the same as anything else. If you're going to get sick in your brain sometimes, and that's why there's depression and all of those things. And it's not a free card, but there's this thing about, like I kept on hearing repeating over and over, where this thing about, oh, there's too much stuff about mental health. I think it's not enough. Like, I think it should be something where, I'm from Canada, right? And we have free healthcare. And the thing that I think they should add is actually free mental health, because what happens is that therapy in itself is so hard to get, and culturally too, because I was born in Jamaica. We don't necessarily look at therapy as something normal. And I'm saying it knowing that, like, myself and the journey that I came on. But when I started in this field, one of the major things that we were told is, you're going to take on so much other people's problems. You need to get into therapy so you can have a way to let all of this out. And I was thinking to myself, what are they talking about? Like, you just kind of just shrug it off. But then you'll be home and you have something weighing on you, and you're wondering what it is. And then, sometimes you sit and you kind of try to reflect back, and you're like, oh, the reason I'm like this is because I listened to this person today, and that energy was still with me. And
100%.
Yeah. So
listen, Adele, hold on one second. I just want to jump in for 1 second. I'm connecting with you, right? But I pulled up that song, but this is a matter of opinion. I don't see too much genius in that song, Panda. But those are my thoughts, right? But there's other pieces of your conversation where I'm connecting with you, and I'm going to have some sympathy. But let's just go here for 1 minute, and I'm not going to read this, but I sent lyrics to this song Pandas by Desiigner here. I'm not seeing really genius in this.
It's not genius. He was talking about hoes and drugs.
Okay. Yeah,
it's not so much the words by itself. It's watch the video and watch him perform it. Because I've never really just looked at the words itself. It's like, and maybe because I've worked with a lot of people with mental health issues, that's what it gave me. And this is like, I remember it specifically. I'm not a fan of him. I don't connect with him when it comes to like his art beyond this. But what I'm saying is that I remember watching that video and I'm like, whoa, it's almost like so you see someone issues just coming out in something. But just when you get a chance to do that, I will
look at the video tonight. So let me say some things I was connecting with you with. I do agree that you never know what's going on in the brain, and there's a lot of people dealing with mental illness. I want to say this is just my thought personally, it's not necessarily a fact. I want to say that when the world went through the pandemic and everybody was on lockdown, it's almost like they say, when you gotta look at yourself and face yourself, like be alone, people were forced into it. And I think for some people, they came out greater. For some people, it drove them absolutely mad and crazy. And some people, the underlying stuff that they had there, it just got worse, right? And so my thing is, if you are on the level, because a lot of people, when they're severely mentally ill, right, they really don't know it. They're straight out of their mind, and they need others to step in to help them. But when you can physically say that I had a problem when I was in Tokyo, so you knew you had a problem because you went to the hospital and they gave you some meds. This is what he said, right? And then, and then you say, after you do this incident, I'm going to put myself in a facility. You're on a better level than most when it comes to your mental health. Because you have the Kanye West. I can't say for sure, whatever, but he said himself that he's dealt with stuff. You have a Kanye West, when he's in his manic mode, he's not thinking he's in his manic mode. He's thinking all of us are crazy. What is our problem? And meantime, we're looking at him like, what is going on with you? So I think that part of his stuff, I do believe he can be going through some things, but I also believe that part of his stuff was intentional and he knew what he was doing. And once he got reprimanded for it and really got caught and busted, and then, kind of embarrassed also because of the backlash, in the comments from, the social media, that's when he wanted to throw in his issue that probably did exist, but didn't exist to the level where you're getting out there on a plane and showing your body parts to people. So I feel like, and I'll connect with you on this too, I think overall with healthcare, period, including mental health, it needs to be more access for everybody. And I'm not saying others haven't tried it, but Obama tried it with the Obamacare to say that pretty much whether you're working, not working, or whatever, you should be able to go to a doctor and have some type of health insurance, right? I do think in certain communities, going to see a therapist is shunned upon, and it's not, it's like, oh, stop, pray, and you'll be okay, and go help yourself. And the last thing I say, because everybody knows, I'm pediatric nurse over here, been in the medical field. Now, let me tell you what I did as a manager when I was in management, right? I tell people all the time, you want to call out sick, you want to this, you want to whatever, you don't have to tell me nothing. You got the time, just put in your time and do it. And people always wonder, like, why don't I want to know? Because of the same thing that you said. That stuff weighs on you. Hold on one second, everybody. Thank you so much for the super chat. A normal behavior is one excuse, yourself, and go to the bathroom and release. And abnormal behavior is to expose yourself to release yourself. And I totally agree. Thank you for the super chat. So when someone wants to tell you, like, I'm calling out because my mother is sick and this and that and blah, 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 and da, 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 whatever, right? Because sometimes people feel, because other jobs they want to know your whole business if you got to call out. So they feel they got to tell you. But then, like you said, you laying in the bed at night and you wonder why you can't sleep because you heard about this one having to put their dog to sleep. Then you heard about this one saying that, their mother is sick, and this one saying something with their dad. And it's not that, I highly care, but all of that, it weighs on you. And when I say to everyone, your feelings need a home. Now, someone gave you their feelings. Now you got to regurgitate it out to get out of you so that you can have peace. And and you can be the right state of mind. And when you work in the hospital, and that's why I say, God bless. First of all, God bless all medical professionals, but really God bless a lot of people that work in emergency rooms, that works in ICUs, because they see more death at a higher rate than maybe some of the nurses on other floors, right? There's certain areas of nursing where death has to it becomes your norm because you see it at such a high rate. All of that, when you're working in a hospital, it weighs on you. And that's where I really learned how to meditate in the day, meditate in the night. And I learned all of these releasing techniques. I did there's this tapping technique. Sometimes it's the weirdest thing, but I promise you this stuff actually works and it helps. But it's this thing where you tap, you tap, you tap, you tap, you tap, right? But it's all
Yep.
you release, right? Because when you work in a hospital and you got to go in a room and tell somebody that their baby, their newborn baby, they're not just sick, they have cancer. Like, can you imagine that? Like, when you got to walk in the room with the doctor and the doctor has to tell this mother that your child has 13 days left. Like, you know, you're not going to just go home like and just like brush that off. So, you know, I learned the decompressing and releasing mechanism, because if you don't release that out of you, it's going to wreak havoc.
But Diva,
So,
can I ask you something?
yes, of course you can.
What you I didn't catch the previous lady's name. I'm sorry.
Adele.
I'm Adele. Sorry about that. That's important to me. I like to get people's names. That I'm connecting with that, but I guess where my question comes in, because let's say he did have a mental condition. Let's just say he did, but just because you have a condition, that doesn't excuse you from wrong behavior. Let's say his condition, instead of having to release himself in that way, would have been to grab a fire extinguisher or something and go run through. He could have caused a crash. I mean, just because you have something going on that you know about, it's I hate to put it this way, but it's your responsibility, especially if you choose to drink and take drugs with that condition. I mean, we just saw the lyrics to the song talking about drugs. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But you know, at a certain point, this person needs to be held accountable, and the law stepping in might be the nudge to get him in the right direction to turn things around. This could be a good thing for him, because what happened on the plane was not good.
Not good at all. And I do agree with you, E.
Is very valid. Like what you're saying can be true. What I said can be true. All of them can be true at the same time. One of them could be true if we don't know, and that's the thing. Each individual situation requires that kind of intensive look, like to analyze and to figure out what the diagnosis is and what the problem is. But for me, I have this thing of saying it's not normal for a person to do what he did on the plane. Whether you want to say, I still believe it's mental health, whether he's doing it as an exhibitionist or he's doing it because he's incapable of making that decision. Both of those things are mental health. It's just the way that you look at it. Because I know if a quote unquote me as a normal person, I would never do that. Like, and I'm not saying I wouldn't have mental health issues, because if tomorrow for some reason I become depressed, we're able to have a cold and get over it. We're able to have mental issues and get over it. That's the thing that we need to go towards, instead of making it be this place that you have to go and it's so horrible. We need to look at it as it's somewhere that, you know, I had a cold yesterday, but today I'm okay. And the reason why I did is maybe because I drank the oranges that I was supposed to, and I took care of myself. And it's the same thing you said. He needs to be able to invest the thing. Maybe he didn't take his medication that he was supposed to take. Whatever it may be, we don't know until we get into the situation. But the fact is that my whole point is more normalizing the fact that mental health issue is not this big scary thing that we're like, oh my God, I don't believe it was mental health. Why couldn't it be mental health? Like, there's 10 of us here right now, and I'm sure each of us at one point in our life was affected by mental health issue, whether we recognize it or not.
No,
it was there. And what I'm saying to you is, when I say that, is not to say, oh my God, I'm saying it's not a big deal. It's just something that happened, and whatever you did to get over it, or maybe you're still struggling with it right now, it doesn't matter. But the point is, it's important to know that, so when it does happen, you can recognize it and do what you need to do to fix it. Because that's the thing. When you think it's impossible and it's not there, then you deny it. Then you say, oh, it couldn't be. Why shouldn't you take a break? What if you're burning out and it could be a bigger problem later? Like you were talking about Diva before. Like, you recognize that there's something happening to me that's different right now, and I need to, whatever it may be, the tapping technique, taking a break, watching TV, going on vacation, whatever it need to be, we need to put those things in our life for self-care. and to understand that if we don't take care of those things, they will multiply and they'll become bigger problems. But it's not
Right.
a scary thing to say you have mental health issues. It's just a thing. It's just a
Hey,
thing.
can I jump in for a
Okay,
second?
but give me a minute. Give me a minute. I
Okay.
want to just say this, Adele. You bring up some amazing points. I'm 100% connecting with you. I like the analogy that you use. Like today, I could have a cold, but tomorrow maybe I won't because I took some cough medicine and I drank my orange juice. So now I'm better. I do have a little bit more compassion for him in the sense of hearing you speak. I will say that because you are correct, right? Either way, because there is some mental health issues when you want to be in public and you would do such a thing, even if you plan to come on that plane to do that thing by having the Vaseline. So you know what? I'm glad you was able to get in the building. I
Oh,
promise you.
it's hard. It took me a long time to push because I'm like, oh my God,
But
I
you
say
was
that.
meant to come in here, honey.
I
Persistence
usually
and
listen. I
consistency
listen
will
to you
get
and
you
Cheryl
every
all the time.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I gotta sit and think more and marinate on what you said because I promise you that I connected with you tonight and I appreciate every word that came out your mouth. And I do believe that, but as I connect with everybody and for different reasons, right? And like unfortunately, mental illness or not, when it goes unchecked, if you do something that impacts other people, you're going to have to pay the consequence,
That's
right?
right.
I just think that in this particular individual situation, he was more aware of his situation than many others are. So his awareness gave him the opportunity to do a little bit more, in my opinion, that he should have done before getting on that plane like that. And especially knowing that he had the Vaseline and he probably was going to, like, he was feeling that way. And my other thing is, too, I wonder who the individuals are that were traveling with him. And the reason why I say that again goes back to sometimes people, especially entertainers, they have nothing but vultures around them. So if I had a girlfriend that was traveling with me or I was traveling with her, and I know she had a drinking problem and we was about to get on the plane, not that you could stop anybody, but I would do everything in my power to be like, girl, now you ain't gonna drink before me. Just try to get through this 2-3 hour flight. And then when you get off, you're gonna be able to do what you do. So the flight attendant told him several times to knock it off. They ended up using his friends or the people he was with to watch him when they threw him to the back of the plane. I wonder why the friends didn't try to stop him or help that situation before it even got that far. It's a lot to unpack here. We are at the 2 hour mark. Y'all know I'm way past my hour here. I want to flip Radiance, talk about your Freaknik experience, and then we're doing our 60 seconds and we're out the building. And we have
Yes.
Toni Braxton for now. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Never miss no beat.
So I said I'm gonna share my Freaknik experience, but that was just clickbait because I was a child when Freaknik was going on. But, but so I was about 12 or 13, and I remember me and my family went downtown Atlanta to shop, and we set up a time to meet back at the car because we want to avoid Freaknik. And when I tell you, it was a 20-minute ride to the house, and we ended up being stuck in traffic. We stuck in Freaknik for an hour or two because it started about 3 or 4 p.m. And when I tell you, I was like, okay, we got kids in the car. Maybe they're gonna let us pass, get an express lane. Those adults did not care. I just was looking out the window, hoping they'll let us get by. Them cars were it wasn't stop and go traffic. It was standstill traffic. So it was a horrible experience for me as a child saying that. But I will say, I guess the adults enjoyed it and everything. And it was more so like the men, because I had heard about Freaknik for years, and every year it got bigger and bigger. It was mostly the men that was bringing the camcorders, and what they would do was they would film their escapades and the different women and stuff. And what they would try to do is they would go and watch it with their homeboys and all that other stuff. And they would come the next year and try to outdo themselves, or whether it was more women or bring more people or do different positions. And I guess it started from a good place because it naturally started from a HBCU in Atlanta. They just wanted to make their own clubs and make their own parties and have fun. And it just grew and grew every year. Now we had people driving in from out of town
everywhere.
Right. Then it became nationwide.
Yes, it did. And they got wild. And like someone said, it ended up being adults and everything coming to this thing. And it was initially with the college students. So I'm going to skip the Toni Braxton story and maybe add that on to a different topic. I know it's 2 hours and 4 minutes. This Shakira is done, and I really want to talk about it, and it would have connected well because it has to do with health and preventative care. I want to close out by I'm gonna go around and please, okay, I'm gonna cut it down to 30 seconds because I got to go. Your 30 seconds, final words, and then I'll give mine. Shan, what are your final words?
Hit the like button. Choo choo. Pray for Toni Braxton. I was gonna say something, but I don't want to be reprimanded later. So choo choo.
Choo choo. Thank you, Shan. In my opinion, what are your final words?
Listen here, people. Let's be careful what we say, and let's keep ourselves in check. Get your your yearly physical. Keep your mental in check, and have a good night.
Thank you. Adele, appreciate you and your mental health experience. What are your final thoughts?
Yeah, just like what the previous lady said, you just keep your mental health in check because it sneaks up on you sometimes. Sneaked up on me in mental health. What I mean is like you burn out and not taking time for yourself, and just understand that it's a normal thing when you push something so hard, including like your car. It's burnout, and you need to do certain things to keep it in check. Think of yourself like that. Thanks.
No, thank you. You gave a lot of good analogies and points, okay? Just like you got to get your oil changed. Yes. Oh my God. Take care of your mental health, right? And there are some people out there. There's some people that, they live alone. I can't go because I'll be here forever. You got to come back, Adele. Leo, what are your final thoughts?
Everybody like and subscribe. And I have had an education with Adele tonight, and I do appreciate it. Choo choo. Thank you, Diva. Thank you, Adele.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Dustin, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, we had a good live, and I hope we do it here pretty soon again. I enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
I enjoy. I love your channel, Diva. I love your opinions. I appreciate your opinions. I like different people's opinions, and I hope that you guys agree with me on some kind of level on my opinions as well.
We do.
Welcome to the great tribe.
Yes, welcome. Thank you so much. Smoke, what are your final thoughts?
Be quick. So Don Lemon is finally discovered that he's black like the back of my hand and not like my palm. So hopefully he gets himself some good love and realize that things ain't always green on the other side. Designer, flight problems, whatever that man's name is. He needs to see some help, get some professional help. If you have those urges, there's a way to maintain it where you don't have to blur the lines. Toni Braxton, we are praying for you, sis. Sending you good vibes and healing because that's not easy, especially for what that family has been through in the last year with Tracy. So definitely send him that. And like, comment, and subscribe on the Gray Hair Tribe. If you got that extra dough, please subscribe for that members only as well because my good sis brings the content. Good auntie brings the content. And I love y'all.
Love you back. Eve, what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts is this. When we say Freaknik started at HBCU, which I knew, but to hear it again, it kind of hit me differently tonight. As a community, our elders say that we are overly sexualized as a community, and we are. And I know the world is overly sexualized in general, but Black men and Black women are fetishized and overly sexualized at a higher degree. And so my only thing is we can't change what is done, but let's be conscious of our digital footprint and showcase better content.
Okay, I like that. Thank you, E. And Robin, your final thoughts?
Thank you, everyone, for a lively discussion. I want to just be very personal and say that Radiance, you disappointed me because I was looking for some tea. But that's okay. I love you. Forgive me for that. Again, this is such a great community. I hope everyone that is here listening, if you're in the bushes, come out and subscribe. If you're here and you haven't hit the like button, hit that button and then let us know in the chat what your number is, because that's going to be the number of the ticket that you punched. I would say thank you, Diva, for being the stewardess, the hostess, and the conductor of this train. And to everybody, hope to see you in the next one.
Thank you, Diva. Appreciate
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I love everybody for being here. We're going to say good night. I got to go. I love y'all. Hit that like button, okay?
And
Subscribe
welcome to the
guys.
Gray Tribe too,
Yes.
Adele. I didn't say that. Sorry.
Yes, yes,
Thank
Adele.
you.
Welcome. Yes, we do appreciate you. Somebody suggested, and I gotta go. Somebody suggested before that we do a whole like health related series.
Yes.
Adele, send me an email. We're gonna try to we'll pull LB. We'll see what we can do. We see if we can pull this thing together. I think it would be a great conversation. Again, guys, thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Good night, goodbye.
Choo
Bye,
choo.
y'all.
Bye.
See y'all next time, Diva.
Yes,